I've used this opportunity to explore, I think, a couple of different ways of writing, and I think the main difference is it's writing for voices and not just for instruments. And obviously the immediate thing that comes in there is the use of words and text setting, and the immediacy of meaning that you get from that, because obviously words have very clear linguistic meaning to us and they impart meaning. So I think obviously one of the biggest changes I've brought to this scheme, writing for choirs, is actually to try and simplify my music, because I often end up overcomplicating things and having lots and lots of things going on at once, and obviously that obscures a lot of the words. I've become quite attached to a lot of the words and the meanings that I've been working with, and I've been very consciously trying to strip that back and really make sure that those meanings are carried across and made clearer. And so in some ways I've consciously simplified my approach, and it's actually been very rewarding in a lot of ways, and I think I will be taking that forward. I don't think there's much of a different approach required for the National Youth Choirs of Great Britain, because they have such a high standard of singers. They're all, as individuals, extremely accomplished musicians and enthusiastic and very well trained, but obviously together they come together and produce this sound, and it's been amazing to see, both on the spring course and on the summer course, just how much material they can learn in such a short space of time and perform it to, absolutely top quality. So no, I haven't held back for them at all. For my main choir piece, I've chosen to set a letter that was found in the sort of northern wastes of Canada in 1869. It was written in 1847 and 1848. The backstory to my piece is it was inspired by the current theme of discovery for the choir, and I have been somewhat intrigued, to say the least, about the Franklin expedition of 1845, which was to try and find a sea route through the Northwest Passage from the Atlantic to the Pacific. And suffice to say, this expedition did not go well. But this particular text, which is known as the Victory Point Note, is really intriguing because they filled it in 1847 and said, "all well." And then they came back a year later to say, "it's not all well, we've deserted the ships, we're going over land, and Franklin has died." And so it's the juxtaposition of the optimism of the first part of the letter and the sheer desperation and terrible situation of the second on the same piece of paper, that I just thought was fascinating. And it's a captivating and awful story, but it is a testament to when discovery goes wrong. For the piece I've written for the Fellowship Octet, it's another found piece, and it's not necessarily a poem or a text. It's a plaque to the memory of a woman called Margaret who lived in Lewisham, which is where I currently live, and she was buried in 1643, but she was described as a nurse, midwife, surgeon, and in part physician to all, both rich and poor. And she just struck me as such a fantastic character and almost a modern woman buried in 1643 at nearly 80 years old, and I just thought she was amazing, and I wanted to write a piece that was a testament to all the women, so Margaret herself, but all the women who didn't get a plaque and that we never know about, and they must be out there, and just sort of the beauty of the work that they did. It's really fantastic for the scheme that NMC have committed to releasing our works. I think there are some fantastic schemes for young composers in this country, and they are all fabulous, but unfortunately for various reasons some of them aren't able to share the finished pieces or the recordings of the composer's new works publicly, which is obviously, there are various reasons for that, but what is really fantastic about this is that it's not just that we can share the recording publicly, it's that it is going to be released on a label, on NMC label, and just the status that brings to it, and the sort of the implication of pride, and that NMC are saying, yes, we are going to distribute these works. It's such a confidence boost, and it's really, really exciting, and the fact that then the distribution channels for that piece just become so much wider, and to be able to share it broadly and to be able to distribute it much, much more easily and efficiently is just such a fantastic prospect, and I'm really looking forward to being able to share my music in these new ways.